Hi everybody, I hope everyone is doing alright. As you can see by the title of this video, today we are going to be listening into the presidential address by Mr. Donald J. Trump to the American nation that happened, I think, about 2 days ago. I'm recording this Saturday, the 20th of December of 2025. So we are going to be listening in. I might interrupt sometimes to put in my 20 cents, my ideas or whatever, my opinions, or to counter the lies that we are going to listen in. Sorry, but I already listened to this in full, so plenty of lies around here. And the first thing I'm also going to say is this: this video, his speech, is available everywhere. It's available in a lot of news channels. It's I think the White House itself provides this video, so this is in public domain. So I'm not stealing from anyone. I'm not using someone else's property to make my videos. And also I am definitely not earning any money from this video because I'm not monetized. And even if I someday am monetized, this video will be for members only, for example, or for subscribers only, or whatever. It won't be monetized ever. I would like to make that very clear. So without further ado, let's get on with it. All right, let's start this.
Good evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability.
No, I have heard that word many times over the years.
The border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people.
Your country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people. How much people do you have in your army? Well, forget about that. Let's continue with the show.
Many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country.
How interesting.
And it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, yes. Crime at record levels,
the transgender
law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden.
The transgender
We had
issue.
The worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But
we are
they're
laughing
not
now.
laughing anymore.
Oh yes, we are.
Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote.
You were not elected in a landslide. You barely won, and right now there are plenty of people questioning the results of your election and if they are indeed legitimate.
And all 7 swing states and everything else with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that
My friend, let's stop here. You were not mandated to do absolutely nothing. You were mandated to be the President of the United States of America, meaning to be the President of all Americans and to assume your role as the President of the United States under your Constitution. Okay, you were not elected to be some kind of God King or or king or God or whatever you think you are in your narcissistic wanderings in the sky. Okay, my friend, you were elected to be the President of the United States, and you did not take in a corrupt system. A corrupt system, water of the wettest water. Shut up. Alright, let's continue. Let's continue. I'll be eating my dry nuts and drinking my water and calming down. Zen.
Really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and every...
Joe Biden was following the presidential rules. Congress approves laws. The president doesn't decide anything on his own. You are a president. You are not a king. Leave Biden alone. You have this fascination with Mr. Biden. Maybe because he's more man right now that he is sick and old and with his issues than you were even in your prime.
Everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country.
Yes,
in other words,
strong.
In a few short months, we went from worst to
How
best.
is the wall going?
We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals.
Brought by ocean and sea. I know the difference between an ocean and a sea. What does he mean? By the ocean? By the sea? He means the drugs are coming from the Pacific or the Atlantic, and then perhaps in the Gulf of Mexico, not Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico. Maybe he considers that to be a sea, because most of your drugs, my friend, comes into your country from Colombia, that goes to Mexico, and from Mexico into the United States. That is how you get your drugs. It's not coming from elsewhere. The drug boats that you are blowing up in Venezuela right now, that you say it's blood, pardon me, that you say, that you claim that are drug boats, those drugs, their destiny is Europe and Africa. Okay, the drugs that you take in your country, they come from Colombia, because look, the climate in Venezuela, they cannot even plant the coca plant, the coca leaf. It has to be planted in specific places, Colombia, in the Andes mountains region. Okay, they have to be planted there, and then they are exported. Some of that coca or coke, call it whatever, goes to Venezuela, and it goes to Europe and Africa, and some of it goes to Colombia. Okay, and from Colombia, or it's produced also in Colombia, it goes to Mexico, usually by land or by boat, but it goes from Colombia. And fentanyl and other drugs, they might come from Asia via boat to the Pacific, in the Pacific. So I really don't understand this by sea and by ocean. What do you mean about that? Then you are doing nothing about it. But
in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states, where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East.
Okay. I could go off on a tangent right now and talk about this, but I'm just going to say this. You did not end any war. You fueled a genocidal war in Gaza. You did not bring peace to the Middle East. You did not save any hostages. Okay? Hamas is not dead. The IDF continues to kill civilians in Gaza, but I will do a dedicated video about that, okay? A Newswatch, proper video. You did nothing. You didn't stop any war. How about Ukraine war? You said you would end it in the day one. Time has passed. The war is still raging, and you are still supporting Russia instead of supporting Ukraine, who was invaded. A democratic state that was invaded by an authoritarian regime. And you are supporting them. Rumors have it, I don't know if they are true or not, so I will say rumors have it, that you, Asian Krasnov, you are being bribed by them. But you don't talk about that now, do you? Let's continue. Or this video will be 3 hours long.
And secured the release of the hostages.
No, you didn't.
Both living and dead.
No, you didn't.
Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen.
You increased the debt of your country. The debt of your country is increasing exponentially due to your economic measures. Starting with the tariffs that don't bring in any money. They take money from the American people, you bloody fool. You are draining the middle and the low class. And the richest of the richest in the United States, they are getting richer. And they are buying out more. They are buying out more real estate, more companies, and enslaving the American people. You are turning the American people into slaves. Shame on you.
Before, I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 30%.
All right. Right now in the comment section, okay? Please, any of you that lives in America, tell me how much did eggs, beef, coffee, the bloody Thanksgiving turkey, how much did it cost you last year? And how much does it cost you now? I will give you an example. Coffee here, good coffee, also raised slightly. It used to be around €2 and €2.50 a good package of powder coffee. And right now it has increased at least €1, so it's around €3.50. And this has to do with the war and the prices of fuel and all of that. Pardon me. Okay? For example, beef. I'm talking about cow, okay? Beef. It used to be around, I don't know, €3 and something, and now it's €4 and something a kilo of good beef. Eggs are more or less the same. This morning I went shopping because I already went with my family to buy some stuff for the Christmas dinner, which is the important part in my culture. It's the Christmas dinner, and then the lunch in Christmas Day. These are the two important parts of Christmas celebrations here. I went to buy eggs. I bought eggs, free range bio, meaning eggs that are taken from chickens that live in an open space. They are not in cages. They are not in bloody nothing like that. Okay, they run around and they lay their eggs. Okay, I bought two cartons, each of them with 12 eggs, so 24 eggs, and each 12 eggs carton that cost me €1 and I believe €1.50 or .60, 160. This is how much it cost me. Tell me down below how much did it cost you. Bring it down. The price is here. Okay. Now I also bought an American style loaf, meaning the type of bread that Wonder Bread type of bread that you buy, minus the chemicals that they put in your food, but that is also the subject for another stream or video or whatever. I also bought one of those, and it cost me 90 cents, meaning less than €1. Also, break it down in the comment section and tell me, and tell anyone that is watching this video how much did it cost you in America. And also, if you live in Europe, tell me how much it cost you. Let's continue.
33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300.
Now, here I'm going to stop you because it's like this. Let me just have a sip of water. I have miners in my family, okay? On my mother's side. My mother was raised mostly by her grandparents, and her grandfather, he was the chief carpenter in the mines of Aljustrel. Look it up. Here in Portugal, in South Portugal. If you are looking for the place, the name of the town is Aljustrel, and it's part of the district of Beja. Okay, South Alentejo. And her uncle, my great uncle, he was a miner in the mines, and we also had cousins and distant relatives that work in the mines. And when this man is saying clean, beautiful coal, my reaction is to talk about things like black lung, to talk about cancer induced by the mines. My reaction is to talk about all the evil that coal brings. And look, and I understand this. I have seen documentaries about it. I saw how, for example, in the Appalachia region in the United States, how those mines kept entire villages and towns alive. But I also saw the devastating effect that it had. And I also saw the incompetence of successive American governments in solving the issues that Appalachia has, and the suffering that those people have been enduring. Okay? I know all of that, but I will tell you this, and I'm sorry, but this is personal, and I cannot stand by and watch this lunatic talk about this in this way. Excuse me, this Mr. Lunatic talk about this shit this way. Mining is not clean, mining is not safe, and definitely mining is not sustainable. Mining is an activity that you still need. Of course you need mining, it's natural, it's normal, but there are certain things that you should not increase. Coal, okay, we need coal for what? For barbecues. We don't need and we don't want coal to produce energy. It's dirty, it's pollutant, and it's bad for everything. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for those that have to extract it. It's bad for those that breathe it in. It's bad for absolutely everything. Coal was just the boost that we used to develop our first industrial revolution. More than that, no. Coal, in my view, extracting coal, using coal, it's evil in this sense.
And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember
no, they
that.
Are not.
The wages, just
no,
look at it.
Not.
Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100.
I would eat a popcorn if I had it, but I just have these wonderful dry nuts. This brand that I find in Lidl, they're excellent.
100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector.
Unemployment has risen.
100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States.
Why? Lie. The numbers prove it. And he is repeating the lie.
Which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security.
Factories have been closing in the United States since he took office.
Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully.
He loves that word, tariffs. But I already explained what tariffs are in another video, so I won't talk about it.
Successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead.
Why is he screaming at the mic? Have you noticed that?
We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see.
When Macron was laughing his ass off with the president of Armenia and Azerbaijan, I think, they were respecting you.
The results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund.
Okay, again, in the comment section, and anyone that lives in the United States, tell me how much you are paying extra right now for rent, or for house payments, or for car payments, whatever. Tell me how much it has increased, pardon, in your case since last year, to what level. Okay, just tell me simple things, okay? Don't know, please don't get personal in the comment sections, okay? Because everyone reads this, so you have to be careful in divulging personal things, okay? But please tell me how much are you paying more for your rent, or your house payments, or your car payments. Just tell me how much you are paying right now, let's say, than what you were paying last Christmas. Okay? Just break it down here, please.
Fund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend.
Okay, and this after you provoked a government shutdown by blackmailing the Democrats into accepting the passage of your big wonderful bill, for which your Republican Congresspersons made promises to the Democratic Congresspersons that they did not fulfilled. Okay, they went back on their words, and you had military personnel in food banks all over the world, not just in the United States, begging for food. You had military personnel starving, or not doing very well, so to speak, all over Europe, for example, especially in Germany, where you had this odd situation in which your military staff could not resort to the official German institutions, but their families could. So their families would receive food from the Germans to feed themselves, because you did not provide them with pay for them to feed themselves, and for pay to buy food for the personnel that is permanently in those bases. Imagine if NATO was not supplying those bases. NATO, not United States, NATO. Because you, Mr. President, you have turned yourselves into something inside of NATO that does not belong to NATO, which is a very odd saying. It's very odd how you can proclaim to be an ally of the countries in NATO, and then you are working against us. You are passing information publicly to Russia. You are repeating the same narrative as Mr. Putin is talking about. Anyone that would listen to you and not know who you are would think you were speaking in behalf of the Kremlin. Something. Look, and this, my friends, again, okay? Don't take it personally. This is my personal opinion. I'm not making any type of accusations. I'm giving my sincere opinion. And this is how you have to consider this. And I want you to fact check everything that I say. I don't want you to take my words as a gospel, because I'm not a priest and I'm not infallible. But this is what I see. But let's try and end this.
In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago.
About paying them
we made a lot
salaries.
more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military. And
my father and all of my uncles served my country in the colonial war. Okay, my father, if he was alive, he would be more or less the same age as you are, Mr. Trump, if he was alive. Unfortunately, he died rather young, and I miss him dearly. But he spent a part of his youth fighting in a bloody war, and all of them, my father and my uncles, they all served in special ops. My father served in what you would call snipers and recon companies, and one of my uncles, or two of my uncles, were in the what the equivalent to the commandos or the Marines, and some and two or more of them were in the Navy. Okay, they served their country. What did you do? Did you serve your country, Mr. Trump, or did you dodge the draft? And then you called publicly, again, my friends, you listening to me, this is public, okay? I'm not inventing this. You are on record stating that veterans and military personnel, they are suckers, they are stupid. But I will let you continue with your little speech. Please continue.
Last year, we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interest to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations which were taking advantage of our...
Let me stop you right there. Prescription drugs prices have not decreased. What you did, for example, is that you put tariffs on the countries that were exporting the medicine into your country, like Europe, yes, Europe, China, India. You put tariffs on them, so you increased the price of the medicines. The medicine that your country, that your fellow Americans should have at a very much lower price, but the key issue here is that you don't have a healthcare system. Okay, you have a system in which your countries, in your countries, sorry, I'm a bit lost for words, in which your citizens of your country, they are blackmailed and drained of all of their money to support a healthcare system that doesn't work. Okay, with 5,000 euros, $5,000. Sorry, the dollar now is a bit cheaper than an euro. So, but $5,000 for an ambulance. And I'm talking. Look, and I know then. Oh, with insurance you only pay this or pay that. Okay, you pay. Last time I went in an ambulance was this year. Do you know how much I paid? Zero. I pay taxes and I have a healthcare system.
Country for many decades to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward, and I use the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction.
Again, the only one that is paying the tariffs are the American companies importing those drugs, those medicines into the United States. They are charging you that, meaning, to be more precise, you are adding that extra tariff to the products that they import from other countries, and then your citizens are paying for those tariffs when they buy the medicine. Mr. Trump, you are not forcing foreign governments to do anything. You are not forcing foreign governments to do anything, because the tariffs are paid for and by the American people. Do you understand, Mr. Trump? Is this clear enough for you to understand when I talk like this?
They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called most favored nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, trumprx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created.
I have this question for the Americans. Why should I have to buy healthcare? Why should I have to buy it if I'm paying my taxes? It's a legitimate question. Here, on my pay, every month, a portion is docked to pay into the healthcare system that I use, to allow me things like, for example, I'm not going to show the medicine, but like this medicine that I have to take every day. You want to know how much I pay for it every day? You want to know? For a box that lasts me for about a month, I pay €2.50. I saw the equivalent of this in the American market, and even with a good health insurance. Sorry, you must forgive me because, as you can see, English is not my native language. Okay, but I saw the equivalent to this of €2.50. That is what I pay on my part at the pharmacy. This is what I pay. I saw this same medicine, exactly the same. Okay, I think even the brand was the same. It's a European brand, but I think even the brand was the same. Sold in the United States, it cost around $250, and that was with a good health insurance. Now, why should I pay to have health care if I am already paying taxes into the state? This is a paradigm that you Americans need to discuss. But let's carry on.
To make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases.
Why is he always
and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault.
Seem to be
it's
able
the
to
Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again,
Look
I
here,
want the money to go directly to the people.
Isn't
so you
odd?
can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to...
You put tariffs on Canada that was selling you, I don't know, around 30 or 40% of your energy, and thus you increased the price of energy. Facts. Again, in the comments section, Americans, please tell me how much you pay right now for your energy. I don't know, electricity, gas. If you have bottled gas, how much you pay for bottled gas. If you have direct gas into your house, how much you are paying, and how much you are paying for electricity. In the comment section, tell me how much did you pay last year and how much you are paying right now.
100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices?
It will be beaten by China, that has increased its production of green energy, meaning energy that doesn't, renewable energies, that has beaten you already. This race for you is already done. Even if right now, Americans, let me just focus back on me. Even if right now you got a decent president that would start investing hard on the renewable energies, okay, even if you did that, you have already lost the race. It's China in the first place, it's Europe in the second place, okay, and a couple of others in the third place, and you are down in the bottom. You have already lost the energy race into this century, in the next century. You will never recuperate. All because of this man. Let's continue.
On electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000.
Again, my friends, tell me how much you were paying for your mortgage, for your house payments, for your rent last year, Christmas, and how much you are paying now. In the comment sections, please.
Under Democrat rule, in 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration.
This paranoia is getting completely out of hand. I'm going to have my say in this. I'm sorry for prolonging our torture, but I have to tell you this. You want to know how immigration is controlled here? Okay, let me tell you. In order to work, you have to be legal here. If anyone employs you and you are illegal, the person that is employing you can have their business closed, definitely. They are fined. They can be arrested. Okay, so it's completely illegal, and it does not compensate to employ people that are illegally in the country. Without your residence taken care of, you cannot work. You cannot use any kind of social or medical services, even if, for example, you are sick or you have an accident or whatever. You will be treated, because we are people, we are not animals like some. So we have inverted the situation from the immigrants, illegal immigrants themselves, into those that employ them and exploit them. So instead of targeting the immigrants themselves, we target those that profit off the immigrants, and thus we break the economic cycle. If a person is caught being illegally here, they have two options. They leave voluntarily, and then they may try to enter in the country legally. They leave voluntarily, or they are deported. Simple as that. Is this a heaven? Is Europe a perfect heaven, a perfect utopia where everything is easy and goes according to the record? No. We have issues. But the key issue here is that, number one, it's in the law how we solve them. So it's there. You just have to follow the rules. And number two, we continuously try to solve the problems. We don't put our hands in our head and scream no 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 like this person is saying. What he is saying is this: hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, and evil is gone. And then evil comes around and slaps him in the head. For God's sakes.
And their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care.
Okay. Tell me what you need to have health care in the United States if you don't have a healthcare insurance. And how can you get a healthcare insurance? Because I know. And then explain to me how an illegal person can have that. Okay? In the comments.
An education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born.
Okay. How many Americans are picking the crops in the fields? How many Americans are working in the restaurants? How many Americans are working in the manufactories? How many jobs have been created? Where are the numbers? Okay? I didn't finish my degree in economics, but I had 3 years of it. So I deal with numbers. Where are the numbers? Nowhere. The numbers are in his image. His imagination.
Citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation.
So you are describing yourself. Did you notice that? Did you notice that? In this last sentence, he described him, his family, and all those that working with him. He describes themselves. He described himself. This is what he is doing. There is always a thread of truth in the middle of, pardon me, in the midst of lies.
Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected. And our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate.
No, you did not got. This was during the Biden administration. Okay? Shut up.
The 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, there could be no more fitting tribute
moving around? The
to
man
this
can't
epic
stop
milestone
still.
than
He
to
can't stand
complete
still.
the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
President Trump from the diplomat.
Okay. Finally, we have ended this endless pantomime of lies. Look, I would like to have your opinion on his speech, on what he said. It's important to me to have your feedback and what you think about what he said, and this is my opinion. What has this speech proven? Number one, the president is either lying, okay, or he is completely oblivious to what is happening in his own country. This is the first. This is the only thing that I can conclude from this. Secondly, I saw a weak person in a weak state. I saw an angry person. I saw a person that was, I don't know, trying to convince himself of what he was saying and failing miserably. In the end, he attacked the Somalians. I don't know why. I don't care. And he constantly blamed Biden and the Democrats. And he said nothing really. He talked about the tariffs again. He thinks it's an excellent idea. I don't know why. To be completely honest with you, I think this entire video was a waste of my time. In the sense that nothing new came from it, really. Nothing at all. He just blurted out some shit and pretended to understand what he was talking about. As for the rest, nothing really. Nothing at all. Just nonsense. Okay, unemployment has risen in the United States. The cost of living has increased. The cost of renting and house payments, mortgages, they have increased. The price of fuel has always been lower in the United States than in the rest of the world, okay, especially in Europe. But then again, the American fuel has less octanes than European fuel, meaning our fuel, even if more expensive, produces more energy than the type of fuel that you use in the United States. Okay, and the tariffs, they have not done anything more to increase the standing of the United States in the world. The only thing that, let me rephrase this, the only thing that the tariffs have done to the American economy and their standing in the world is to tell other countries to get rid of them. Don't invest in the United States. Try to sell as little as you can to them. Don't depend on their market. And don't buy their products. I was at the supermarket this morning. I saw the aisles. And even the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi-Cola that is made here, people are not buying it. They have even done this. If you don't know this, in any European supermarket, you can open a package and take an individual bottle of Coca-Cola or juice, whatever, or beer. Take an individual bottle and you buy just that bottle. You don't need to buy the entire 6-pack. Usually they come in packs of 6. The cans, sometimes they have larger packets. I saw and I talked with someone that told me why they did this. They open up the packages of Coca-Cola and they put them in the aisle. You want to know why? Number one, to fill up the aisle, because they are trying to sell as much as they can of that and they are not buying more back. And also so that people might just, okay, let me take a bottle of Coke, because people are not buying it. They are not giving themselves the trouble of opening the package and taking a Coca-Cola bottle or taking the entire package. Does this mean that they are not selling at all? Of course not. Don't be silly. Of course there are still people buying Coca-Cola. Even if it's the foreigners that are around here or the tourists, okay, it's selling. But the key issue here is that in terms of the family market, it's decreasing. I know dozens of people that simply have stopped buying American products. And if you come to a country like Portugal, really, the only American products that you will see here are the soft drinks that are produced either here or in Spain. Okay? And you have a couple of products more that sometimes appear in the supermarkets and that people might buy out of curiosity, but usually it's just things that make you feel sick, or things that are sold here illegally, like that chocolate bar that I showed you in the other video. Okay, or even some varieties of chocolate that are produced and sold here. And you have Ford cars and a little more. This is what America has to offer to the world. And this is what Mr. Trump does not understand. America was selling an idea. Okay? It was the place where you could make business, where you could sell big, where you could buy big, and that served as a platform for business. You understand the concept of what I'm trying to tell you. And what these policies did was to stop that platform from moving. It increased, and in the other hand, it started to drain wealth from the citizens with the tariffs, and all of that tariff money, it's going to the companies that are still importing the foreign goods. Why? Because you need them. And you are going to have a labor shortage, like you are already having, because you are arresting the people that work. Instead of creating an actual policy of immigration like other countries and other blocks of countries have, what did you do? Nothing. You send in ICE agents to arrest not traffickers or drug dealers or whatever, or murderers. You send ICE agents to arrest people that are working in the fields, picking our crops, people that are in the factories producing your food and your products, people that are in the restaurants, in the cafes, and the hotels, okay, tending to your tourists, and also arresting tourists or expelling tourists or deporting tourists or sending tourists into gulags at the borders. And sorry. And this man expects the World Cup and the Olympic Games to be a great success. Look, I know what FIFA is going to do. They are going to do the exact same shit they have done in the past in other World Cups that were barely normal. They are going to say it's a success. What they are not going to tell you is sayings like I listen to every day, like I said in a comment I think or in a video, I know of a group of guys, of friends and people that I know that work all year and they save up a couple of money to go watch, for example, international matches. Okay, they go, for example, to France to watch the major clubs from here from Portugal to play, like for example Porto, Sporting, Benfica. They go and see the international games, mostly in Europe. And these are people that also were saving up to go and watch the World Cup games, a couple of games. They were going to play, and it's affordable. Okay, it's not it's not something that you are not able to pay for. If you have a regular salary and you can save up a bit, you can put aside some money. Okay, you put in some vacation days in to go to the World Cup, and you go and watch the games that you want to watch. And it's not that expensive. It's expensive, but it's not painfully expensive. Okay. And these people, they were saving up to go to United States to watch the games. Guess what? I have just spoken with one of them 4 days ago. And you know what he told me? He said, "Oh no, we are going to keep this money, and then we are going to watch the games of Benfica next year." They're not going. It's going to be a theater, just like the fake award that they gave him. This entire government, they are living in a lie. Okay, these people are living in I don't know, a wonderful world of deception. And what I don't understand is, how can someone still support this? Okay, this is what really baffles me. How a normal human being can watch this entire situation. Okay, if you're a normal American, you go to the supermarket, you go and buy your coffee, you go and buy your beef, you go and buy your groceries. Okay, you go and pay your electric bill, you go and pay your gas bill, and you watch it grow out of proportions, and you say, this is working. He's going to give 1,700, whatever the hell he was talking about, 1,000 of the warriors payment. He's going to do that after he forced military personnel to go into food banks. After he has removed, with his Doge adventure, he has removed medical care and essential treatments to veterans, to people that got wounded or that fought for your country, for your flag, not for him, for the bloody flag. One of the things that I used to admire about the Americans is that they were fighting for their flag. They were not fighting for President A or President B. They were fighting for their flag, for their country. And whatever questions you might have about that, they were fighting for their country. Of course, now we know they were fighting for oil companies. They were fighting for this and for that. But for that soldier, for that person, he picked up the gun and he went to fight for his country, for his flag. and you are going to give him I don't know. I don't even know how to qualify this, okay? Because it's ridiculous. It's an offense. It's spitting in the face of everyone that ever sacrificed anything for his country, his or her. And then it's also, from his speech, this obsession with transgender people. What is wrong with them? There must be something seriously wrong with these people to have an obsession with transgender people. Are they all sexual deviants? A transgender person is how you can read in the word person. Why do you care about it? What is it so important to you? Who cares about your religious opinions? Who cares about your personal opinions? It's none of your bloody business. Are you unable to let people live their lives how they want to? Do you think anyone, any normal person, would want to literally change his or her own gender to fit some kind of political objective? Are you crazy? Do you understand what these people go through? Do you? This is complete lunacy. To me, this is my honest opinion, and I have talked about this often. To me, to be discussing a person that wants rephrasing, a person to be discussing a person that is gay or transgender or straight, to me, to be discussing this is an absolutely waste of time. Gay people are gay people. They like to sleep with with persons of their own sex. And if they are bisexual, they like both sex. Whatever. As long as everyone is not under age, everyone is of age, Mr. Trump, not little girls. As long as everyone is of age, an adult, and knows what the hell they are doing, do whatever you want to do. If it's acceptable morally, ethically, religiously, I don't care. Like my grandfather used to say, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And I happen to agree with him. Because opinions always depend on a perspective. What you have to have is a blind vision over these types of things. So, for me, gay people are normal people. They like what they like. Look, I like redheads and Asians, and I'm straight. Okay. What, you are going to force me to be gay? No one is forced to be gay, my friend. You are gay because you want to, because you like it. And there is nothing wrong with that, okay? You like what you like. Why should I care about what you like? In the same way, why should you care about what I like or my opinion? Or why should I care about your own opinion? The only thing that we have to maintain in society is a civil discourse. And the ability of, for example, if you don't like transgender people, then don't talk with them. If you are working and you are providing a service, and a transgender person comes into your cafe or whatever and sits down and orders, you are doing your job. You have no right of denying service to that person. But if you are in your normal life, you have and you should have the ability to say, no, I don't want to be your friend or be around you. Okay, you will be a social asshole, but you are entitled to be an asshole. Okay, people don't need to be nice. People need to be civil. This is why when Americans come to Europe and then they are talking about, oh, people are so cold and this and that. We are not cold. We are just not meddling into other people's business. And you come around, and most of you Americans are loudmouth idiots that are screaming through our streets. Look, this summer I was at the beach, and me and the people, in this case, the woman that was with me, we were sitting in the sand, and she's a foreigner, not an American, and she was saying to me in English, "We always know when the Americans are coming." And literally, there was a group of Americans, two families, and they were screaming so hard that you could listen to them 50 meters away. You knew they were coming, even with the rush of the sea. What can I tell you? And this entire position, this entire speech, it's a mockery of what a speech should be. And remember, please remember, you are free to disagree with me. This is my honest opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not offending anyone. I'm giving my opinion. If you don't like it, dislike the video. Whatever. But again, I was just trying to be professional about this, but it's impossible, okay? This is exactly the same thing when I try to analyze that House committee, whatever thing. It's the same. There is nothing of use that I can obtain from this video, from this man talking. Because he was not talking anything factual. There are no facts in what he is saying. Okay, jobs did not increase. You did not receive trillions of money from foreign distant countries that are now paying to sell to you. Oh, please, Donald, let me sell my products in the United States. Oh God, oh God. No one is doing that. Americans are having their living daylights beaten at the grocery shop. People are poorer. There is more instability in the streets. People are unsafe. And the life of the Americans is getting progressively worse. And the standing of the United States in the entire world is being reduced to a tolerable presence. And as time goes by, as we further, and I'm talking about Europe, as we further detach ourselves more and more from the United States, it's going to become irrelevant. And it's going to be a third world country with a big army until you can no longer pay that army. And then it will crumble if this situation continues. So I'm telling you, Americans, if you are listening to me, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to protest? Or are you going to protest with your vote? By electing people that will do what you want them to do? Are you going to elect someone that's going to give you health care? That's going to give you proper taxing? That's going to defend your personal rights? That's going to defend your economy? Words, we have a saying here. Palavras levas o vento. Words, they're gone with the wind. Words are meaningless unless you act. And I'm not talking about violence. Violence only has, violence only does one thing. It provokes more violence. It might solve a problem in that moment, but then you will have tens of problems that come from that violent act. So violence solves nothing. But being a citizen and being conscious of what you are voting for and demanding answers from the people that you elect, that is the only way. You want to save your country right now? vote massively in the Democrats. Right now, and I'm being honest with you, what you have to do right now is vote Democrat. Even if you don't like them, vote Democrat. Because this is the only way that you will drain the power out of people like this current president and the movement that is behind him. Because I'm absolutely sure that not everybody that voted for Mr. Trump in the United States wanted this. I know a lot of them were petty little people that wanted to own the libs. I know that. But I also know there are a lot of good-hearted people that were fooled by this shit. But right now, my friends, you that voted for him, you are complicit with his crimes. And you should think about it. And if you are Christian, like you all proclaim to be very Christian, you know that there is no forgiveness without repentance and penitence. You cannot expect your sins to be washed without you compensating for it. Okay? So as you can see, I also know my religion. You call yourselves Christians? You call this man Christian? Really? Then you have a completely different concept of what a Christian is. Quoting my dad, who, if he was alive, he would be more or less of the same age as this person. If he was still alive, my dad told me this: a Christian is not known for his words, a Christian is known for his actions. Meaning, act more and stop your yapping. Now, to all of you that withstood this ordeal, I thank you very much. I hope this video is at least useful to someone. And I hope to catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much for listening to me and to my rant. I'm sorry I rant, but then again, this is free. So, thank you very much, and